You've probably heard of Warren Buffett and how he's an incredible investor. But did you know he didn't build his $100 billion portfolio just because he's a good investor? His fortune was built because he started at the age of 11 and he has been contributing for the past 80 years. In fact, most of his fortune was accumulated after his 50th birthday. So, what's his secret? But more importantly, how can you use his secret to accumulate millions? If you're new here, I'm a certified financial planner and a tax and estate planner. So welcome back to Tea with Aditi, and let's dive right in. The real secret to Warren Buffett's wealth is a concept called compounding. Before we get into the details of how you're going to save $1 million in time for your retirement, let's understand what compounding is. Compounding is a process where the earnings from your investment are reinvested to generate even more earnings over time. It's basically interest on interest. Let's use the snowball theory to understand this. Imagine a snowball rolling down the hill. As it rolls, it gathers more and more snow and it gets bigger. The bigger it gets, the more snow it can pick up and the faster it grows in size. Similarly, your investments may start off small, but with the magic of compounding, you can accumulate substantial wealth over time. Your earnings can be in the form of interest or dividends. Let's first look at interest to see how simple interest differs from compound interest. With simple interest, the interest is only calculated on the principal amount, which is your original investment. So the growth is linear. For example, if you invest $1,000 using simple interest of 5%, the growth for that year would be $50 for that year and every year going forward. So year 2, year 3, year 4, every year the growth would be $50 because it's only growing on the principal amount of $1,000. Alternatively, compound interest allows for exponential growth because the interest is not only calculated on the principal, but also the interest earned in the previous year. So if you're going to invest $1,000 at 5% compounded annually, in the first year, the interest you would earn is $50, which was the same as simple interest. However, in the second year, you'd actually earn interest on the principal plus the previous year's interest. So in the second year, the 5% would be calculated on $1,000 plus the 50, so $1,050, and 5% earning on that is $52.50. Then in the third year, you'd be earning the 5% on $1,050 plus $52.50, and so 5% of that is $55.13, and so on and so forth. So you can see the difference of how simple interest differs from compounded interest. Now that we've covered the concept of compounding, let's talk about the other half of the secret, starting early. The benefits of compound growth happen over time. It's a long-term game. When you start early and you use the magic of compounding, it doesn't take a lot of money to start. If you can start when you're young, even small amounts of money will have a big impact in your future savings, especially for retirement. Patience and consistency are key. Warren Buffett is often quoted saying how he wishes he started earlier and he started at the age of 11. Let's consider an example of starting early. We have Gina and Greg. Gina saves $200 a month from the age of 20, and Greg saves $400 a month from the age of 30. Let's use 8% growth rate since the average yearly return over the last 30 years of the S&P 500 index was 8%. By age 60, Gina has saved $621,000, whereas Greg has saved $543,000. Now, there are a few things to note here. Obviously, Gina started 10 years earlier. However, Greg was contributing 2 times the amount Gina was. Also, if you compare the total amounts the two of them have contributed over the past 40 years, Gina has contributed $96,000, whereas Greg has put in $144,000. This goes to show that if you start young, even small amounts of money can accumulate to great wealth over time. Let's consider another example to demonstrate the power of starting early. We have Ben and Jennifer. Ben is 20 years old when he starts contributing, and he contributes $200 a month, but he only contributes for 10 years. So from 20 to 30, he contributes $200 a month. Jennifer doesn't start until she's 30, and she contributes $200 a month. However, she does it all the way until age 65. So from age 30 to 65, she's contributing $200 a month. At age 65, for both of them, assuming an 8% growth rate, Ben has managed to save $532,000, whereas Jennifer has $428,000 saved. What's even more interesting here is looking at the principal amount, the original investment they both put in. Over the years, Ben put in a total of $24,000 over the 10 years, and Jennifer put in a total of $84,000. But just because of a 10-year head start, Ben managed to have $100,000 more saved than Jennifer by the time they reached 65. Now, if you want to run some numbers, you can simply Google a compound interest calculator, or I'll link one below and you can try that one out. So how does this work practically? If you currently have a savings account, you'll earn interest on your investment, which will get added to your savings. In the next period, you'll earn interest on that interest, and so on and so forth. Then there are dividend-paying stocks. Dividend-paying stocks distribute a portion of their earnings to their shareholders in the form of dividends. So basically, when dividends are paid out, instead of cashing it out, you reinvest it to purchase additional shares of the company. This would happen automatically when you enroll in a dividend reinvestment plan, also called a DRIP. You can simply call up your bank or your brokerage and they can help you set this up. A key thing to remember is you want to avoid constantly engaging in buying and selling and market fluctuations. The patient approach avoids transaction fees and taxes and really allows your money to compound and grow over the years. So, to maximize the benefits from the magic of compounding, you want to start early, save regularly, and invest for the long term. So let's have some fun and see what you need to do today to save $1 million by the time you're 65. So take a look at this chart and feel free to pause the video so you can see based on your age. But if you're currently 20 years old, you need to save about $210 a month, assuming 8% growth rate. Or if we're assuming a 6% growth rate, you need to save about $400 a month. If you're 30, you need to save about $470 a month, assuming the 8% growth rate. And if you're 40, you need to save about $1,200 a month. And if you're 50, you need to save $3,000 a month. And once again, these are the monthly amounts you want to save if you want to reach a $1 million goal by the time you're 65. Albert Einstein is often attributed with saying, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." Thank you for watching my video. If you liked it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.